as a Dharma teacher, fellow practitioners, today we are in this region for the third time. 11 families, internet, in the past, in the depth. We are all over the world, in many countries and regions. This sutra has been lectured 10 times. If we count, this time is the 10th time. Each time, what is lectured? Everyone, if you listen to the tapes, just a glimpse, you'll find that each is different. So why did we decide to lecture on this sutra again this time? Recently, upon opening the scriptures, there have been many new insights. Like the ancient masters said, in a state of confusion, one does not know. We said, bring up these misunderstandings, these insights, and share them with fellow practitioners. This time we begin the lecture. We focus on the administration and management students, one could say, are all experienced practitioners. Those attending the lecture today are not beginners, but seasoned practitioners. Everyone knows that each sutra has teach ritual or aspect. In Buddhism, they are also referred to as the teaching sutra, ritual, practice, and result. This classic text is a reservoir for theories described within the text. Principles. Additionally, it teaches us how to study and practice, how to apply the sutra and treat us, its theories, its methods, into our daily lives. This is called practicing sutra. In our practice, we gain insights. We then compare our insights with the sutra to check, to verify. In our daily lives, our views and thoughts on the universe and life, and our usual ways of dealing with people, matters, and things, whether they align with what the Buddha teaches us in the scriptures, whether they are the same. Occasional education truth. So, in the scriptures, through teaching, principles, practice, and results, we learn belief form. In previous years, when we introduced this sutra, a focus was on faith and understanding. We hoped that after listening, students would develop confidence to be able to understand the profound meanings within the scriptures. This time, however, we are shifting the focus to practice. We study this sutra and how every word and sentence can be applied to our lives, applied to our daily work, handling, socializing, and social. This kind of learning is very meaningful and beneficial. So this time, special emphasis. The report compared to the past. There are some differences regarding this teaching, this part. We can set it aside to specifically study the practice. As I have mentioned many times before, through audio and video recordings, there are also lecture notes available. Everyone can use them as a reference. So today, we will skip this part of our study. You see in the lecture notes the 4 volumes of study take up 1 quarter. Today, we will directly start with the main text, beginning with the English version. However, when discussing the scripture, the topic is not up for debate. Let's first take a look at the title of the document. A compilation of the Shakyamuni's teachings after his passing, combining the original text with the Chinese translation. The two are merged together. Truly seamless. The compilation is extremely perfect. Discussing the Infinite Life Sutra, the meaning of 12 equaling 1 book, complete and perfect within it. Not just that. The 12 translations of the Infinite Life Sutra, truly speaking, all the teachings set forth by the World-Honored One over 49 years cannot be separated from this essence. The essence is like a guideline, all contained within this framework. The World-Honored One spoke the Dharma truthfully, received by the 3 times, all Buddhas and Tathagatas. The countless Dharma doors spoken for all sentient beings also cannot be separated from this essence. Today is truly the Buddha Dharma. The great, perfect advice. From this topic, we establish information. From this topic, we experience the perfect faith administration. Essence, the Buddha belongs to the Mahayana, adorned with infinite life. The Sutra of purity, equality, and enlightenment. 4 purposes. To simplify, we have divided it into 8 small sections. First section is the Buddha's following. Buddha is from India, Sanskrit, and English. Buddhism was introduced to China during the Han Dynasty. With the support of the state, large-scale translations were undertaken. The translation work was set in a rigid manner, and it was very difficult. At that time, there weren't many Chinese characters. There were many. In these scriptures, meanings that did not exist in our Chinese characters. So, out of necessity, new characters had to be created. To translate the Buddhist scriptures, many new characters were invented. The character for a Buddha was one of those created at that time. In ancient times, this term did not exist. Buddha is a person, so a person radical was added to the character, and because a Buddha is a cause, the character for a Buddha was used, which combined to form a new character. Before Buddhism came to China, this character did not exist, so this was a newly created character. We then pronounce this character as a fei. In fact, it's an abbreviation of a Buddha. Chinese people like simplicity, so they omitted the ending sound, leaving just a fei. Its meaning is enlightenment, as everyone knows. It includes self-enlightenment, enlightening others, and perfecting the enlightened mind. These three meanings are included. These three meanings are very deep and very broad. When we learn Buddhism, we are learning to be like plants. No confusion. Gather without confusion, and this person becomes a Buddha. We have been learning Buddhism for quite a few years. From the time I started learning Buddhism until now. I started learning Buddhism at the age of 26. Encountering Buddhist teachings. I am now over 70 years old. Have I become enlightened? It cannot be said that there is not a little bit. In other words, regarding worldly and transcendental laws, not too confused. Not confused. Not swayed by them. How do you explain this? Ordinary people, when the six senses come into contact with the six realms, they start to have thoughts and feelings. They develop greed, anger, ignorance, and arrogance. When you see something nice, something beautiful, you want to take another look. This is the mystery. That's being diluted. For an enlightened person, beautiful and not beautiful are the same. The mind is pure and equal. Why are they the same? To speak truthfully, all forms are illusions. The beautiful is an illusion. The not beautiful is also an illusion. So they are equal. The mind is not swayed by external circumstances. That is enlightenment. So, as people who study Buddhism, we must constantly reflect. We need to examine ourselves. Is it really there? To what extent have we truly become enlightened? It's in our daily lives, in the interaction of the six senses with the six realms. To test ourselves. Do we really have the skill? If you feel happy when praised and upset when criticized, that's a big problem. Are you still an ordinary person? Are you still caught in the cycle of birth and death in the six realms? How can that be acceptable? The skill lies in using external circumstances, whether it's worldly law or Buddhist law, being able to maintain clarity and understanding, remaining unmoved. This is what is called true understanding. Fellow students of Buddhism, the first lesson upon entering Buddhism is to accept the three refuges. The three refuges, we explain it very clearly and plainly. Have you truly taken refuge? Refuge means returning. Have you really returned? Do you have something to rely on? If it's just the formality of the three refuges, performed as a ceremony, but in reality, if not turned, still have no reliance, then this refuge is false, not real, in name only. About the Buddha, it means aware. The rules are correct and not deviant, not being still in body, but not so. Have we achieved these 3 points? These 3 points up on this crystal. Expanded, this economic language is full. After self-awareness, teach others. Enlivening others is actually false, and it's quite a difficult task. Then we must ask, why we need to teach others? If I diligently study and practice myself, I don't need to teach others. Teaching others is about enlightening all beings, helping them. If I just focus on myself, why do I need to help others? Can I wait until I become a Buddha before helping others? If you have this thought, let me honestly tell you, you won't become a Buddha. Why can't you become a Buddha? Self-awareness. Overcome the obstacles of afflictions. Awaken others and break their attachments. Once you've broken through your afflictions, you achieve true enlightenment. That state is of the Arhat or Pratyeka Buddha. Status indeed. In the original teachings, a Bodhisattva of equanimity. Inside is below the 7th star. In teachings, refers to bodhisattvas in 3 stages. Not reached ground. This is the book. If you don't have the intention to help others, you can't overcome the obstacles of inherent knowledge. So, if you want to become a Buddha, you must have the intention. Wholeheartedly help others learn Buddhism. How much do we know? Help others as much as we know. Definitely do not establish doctrines. This merit and benefit are extraordinary. The so-called merit and benefit are what was just mentioned. Break through the 2 obstacles. After rupture of 2 obstacles, then you are a true bodhisattva. Not a fake bodhisattva, a true bodhisattva. As mentioned in the Avatamsaka Sutra, the great matter of the Dharma body. Why? Because you have transcended the 10 Dharma realms. not only surpassing the 6 paths, but also the 10 Dharma realms. You have already realized the one true Dharma realm. In other words, you live a life of great events in the Dharma realm. How could that be sane? But it hasn't reached the highest state yet. It still needs to be continuous. Self-practice transforms. You must break through ignorance. Ignorance is delusion. Cut it off completely. Then you realize light. This lateness means perfection. That delusion and ignorance are cut off completely. This is fulfillment. Achieving the ultimate and perfect Buddhahood. Here, a word at Buddha here refers to a teacher, Shakyamuni Buddha. Shakyamuni Buddha, indeed, attained the ultimate and perfect Buddhahood. This sutra was spoken him. Only the mouth of one who has achieved ultimate perfection has the ability to proclaim to us the ultimate perfection. It has been greatly revealed. When we read the sutra, we can deeply understand. This sutra was spoken by Shakyamuni Buddha, but also by the Buddhas of the 10 directions and 30, all Buddhas and Tathagatas. There is a Buddha in the world, but he does not teach this method. There is not a single Buddha who does not highly praise it. Therefore, the Buddha's teachings here are different from the usual Buddha said in other sutras. In the Begging Sutra, the Buddha referred to is Shakyamuni Buddha. Here, the reference is to all Buddhas and Tathagatas. All of them speak of this sutra. This realm is truly inconceivable. So, the meaning of this Buddha is particularly special, is an occasion. The word is bok, means to expound Dhamma. Ancient time. The joy of society and joy were the same character. But when pronounced, they have two different sounds. When we read the analects is ancient poetry. People and learning, and the very beginning of the analect starts with that isn't it a pleasure to learn and practice what you have learned? You see, that a you actually refers to the number when pronounced there. It means joy in one's profession. In other words, when people are joyful, they speak. If they don't like it, they don't speak. They only speak when they don't like it. Prone is the way. Liberate all sentient beings as the fundamental goal. When he sees that the sentient being's foundations have matured, accept this Dharma method. Very joyful, immensely joyful. In this situation, we calmly reflect, and it can be understood. The Buddha wants to help all sentient beings. Help all sentient beings. Can all become Buddhas? All can become, ultimately, perfect Buddhas. And in reality, all sentient beings are originally Buddhas. Cunning. We must clearly understand the meaning within these two words. What is cunning? What are the benefits of becoming a Buddha? Not becoming Buddha. Isn't it the same? Let me tell you, not becoming a Buddha and becoming a Buddha are vastly different. Not becoming Buddha. You have afflictions. You have delusions. You have disasters. You have suffering. As often mentioned in the Buddhist scriptures, the suffering of birth, aging, illness, and death. The 3 sufferings and the 8 sufferings, you cannot escape them. After learning Buddhism and becoming a Buddha, this suffering is forever left behind. All the sufferings of the worldly and transcendental realms eliminated. This is the benefit of learning Buddhism. Another benefit, if we do not become a Buddha, yachting universe in life, we are completely clueless. We know nothing, and this is suffering. After becoming a Buddha, throughout the vastness of space and the Dharma realm, past, present, future, from the beginningless past to the traceless future, there is nothing unclear. There is nothing unknown. That clarity is not imagined, not speculated. Nowadays, generally speaking, you see, in recent years, there have been many disasters in the world, in China and abroad. There are many books on languages. This time returning from Australia, I saw Wu Xing browsing in a bookstore, and he told me he saw more than a dozen types written by foreigners. They all predict what disasters might happen in the future. Are these predictions accurate? Not necessarily. Why not necessarily? Because their predictions are all calculated from mathematics. Sometimes they make calculation errors. A small numerical error can make it inaccurate. What the Buddha told us is extremely accurate. Why is he so accurate? Because he saw it with his own eyes, heard it with his own ears. How could it not be accurate? The Buddha was born 3,000 years ago. The society from 3,000 years ago. The Buddha knew it, like the back of his hand. Spoke it.